Back in action. Round 2. Isn't this fun? Come find your seat. Hey everybody, just a little note. We have a book over here, called Becoming a Ripple Church, written by one of our DSs, Phil Stevenson. And this is being made available to you. We only have we were given 50 copies. And so I want to encourage you, if you're a lead pastor or planter, you be the one that picks this up for your church, and you can spread it around and use it. They are on sale. Wesley Publishing House put them on sale for like $3 for us. And so you can go online there and find those, but they're sitting right over here if you're ready for that. It's an incredible book describing the multiplication of becoming a parent church. Also, just a side note too, if you have gone through a coach training process before, which many of us have, I've gone through that. I also recently went through the Cultivate coach training and found it incredibly valuable. And so we want to encourage all of our future coaches to go ahead and go through Cultivate training and take those 8 weeks and really learn and develop the skill set. So I think we're here. We all here? We ready? We ready? Mick Veach from Midtown Detroit. Take it away, brother. Oh, they're quiet for you.
Ed asked me to speak about farm systems and farm teams. I am a sports fan, and let me start this way by saying I've been a Chicago Cubs fan since 1975. The rest of you know the rest of the story. They were horrible for years, and this year we celebrated, for those that are Cubs fans. Are there any Cubs fans in the house? What a great year that was. That was all about developing a farm system, not going off of superstars and making a difference. And so in my own experience, I came to know Christ as a teenager, and there was a man named Dwight Robertson, who's an ordained minister with Kingdom Building Ministries, who actually mentored me for 3 to 5 years. He's 9 years ahead of me, but is my best friend. I worked for him, and we continue to have that kind of relationship. That actually formed and shaped my life. So when God called us to the city, we realized quickly as a church that we are predominantly white, and if we are going to actually have an influence in the urban context, we are going to have to actually see people drawn out in the urban context rather than just planting a church. So it's been our desire why we plant this church called Mosaic, that at the same time, which is kind of crazy, that we will create and are creating what we're calling an urban institute. That urban institute simply is this, that we are creating an opportunity for young adults to actually get training in the city, which is a 3-pronged thing. There will be mentoring, which they will read books, they will be meeting with us one-on-one, they will have assignments, and then secondly, they will be doing ministry assignments while there. So they'll be mentored, there will be ministry, and then there'll be mobilization where they will actually be out and placed in areas in which they can be engaged with. So this institute, we are now actually in dialogue with Indiana Wesleyan University, in which they will be sending students to Mosaic to be able to train them wherever they may end up in the urban context. We believe, though, that this cannot just be a white man's training ground, that it has to be half from outside and half at the institute need to be actually Detroiters. So we want to see homegrown folks actually to be a part of our training system while we're there. We're also excited that while we're doing this, we're planting churches at the same time. As I said last night, we're planning a church starting July 1st, actually in Dearborn, and we're partnering together with this couple who are going to be a part of Mosaic July 1. Dearborn, as you know, is the largest Islamic bloc in North America, and we are partnering together with this couple, and we already have 2 community centers that we're going to connect them with, and it will be in this training session that we'll actually be able to begin to provide immigration, tutoring, training, teaching English to people to begin relationships with Muslims. What's great about that then out of that is that anybody in the Wesleyan tribe that desires to work with Muslim peoples, that we can actually use this then as another institute that we're actually talking with global partners about, that people that may actually go overseas or work with Muslims domestically. So we're committed to grow a farm system that actually works. And so that will be our passion as we do this, being able to engage this. Not only that, but we also need to do it homegrown. And what do we do with that? It's the people we have right now. What are we doing in their lives? Let me give you a couple examples in closing what we're doing with that. I'm meeting with 5 men right now as I meet. I'm not going to talk about mentoring. I'm going to do mentoring. I'm not going to talk about evangelism. I'm going to do evangelism. You can't just talk about it and go to a conference about it. You actually have to do it. So these people that I'm actually meeting with now, we're doing a simple thing called journaling. I prepare a plan. I just get in Scripture. We read Scripture and we journal together, getting them in the Word. That's what we do week by week with them. They call me, we engage. It's the craziest thing. I have 2 recovering addicts that want to go into the ministry. They will, both African Americans, they will never fit our model right now as it is. So I'm excited about what Dr. Schmidt's talking about. Antonio calls me Easter morning and says, I'm practicing what you said, preacher. I can't come to church, watch the news because I'm going to be on the news. My building was on fire. I was on the 7th floor. This is the truth. And I got out, and while I got out, the lady beside me, she was standing in the window. Her apartment was on fire. So I got into training thinking what you said. We got a blanket. We put some pillows underneath it. We told her to jump. She jumped, bounced off, broke her hip, but she lived, and I'm going to come to the church and tell everybody about this. Before, I would have never done this, but because I'm starting to think about others, I actually am making a change. I really want to be a pastor. I said, Antonio, that's worth it all. Homegrown. Chanel, 23 years old. She comes in, she's living out of her car. We start meeting and we start sharing with her. We start meeting with her and journaling and sharing and sharing the Lord with her. She now started a business cleaning buildings worth $500,000, starting apps, and I'm taking her to Sri Lanka this May to see that God's already calling her into ministry, and she is a fireball. Carlos, who works with Eminem, the rapper, ODs on drugs, trying to figure his life out, has been in prison. I said to Carlos, you've got the musical talent. You need to give us spoken word on Easter. He was scared spitless. He didn't even know what spoken word was. I said, you can do it. You can do it. And I put him up there and I said, talk to us, Carlos. And he gets up there and he starts talking, never been in front of people whatsoever, about being in prison, in drugs, Eminem and all the rest. But now I'm following Jesus. I'm going to be full-time for him. What I'm trying to say to you is this, is that yes, we'll have the formal institutions in which we'll give mentoring, mobilizing, and ministry experiences, but we're also committed one-on-one, life on life to make a difference. Now here's what I learned in closing is this, is that the greatest gift that I will give the world is not my talent, not my plan, not my skill, not my charisma. The greatest gift I will ever give the world is my own intimacy with Jesus. And so as I fill up, that I'm able to give to them. And my prayer is that out of this church called Mosaic, we will see churches rise up. It will not be just dependent on the suburban church, but within the heart of the urban context, urban churches will fly and flourish, and we will see cities throughout the United States that will actually be raising up new laborers. Jesus said, the harvest is ready, specifically in the city, but the workers are few. Pray to the God of the harvest that he will send up or raise up new laborers or workers. I believe our greatest days are ahead. Thank you.
Thinking like an orchardist.